Hey, it's Soleil, and this is episode 45 of the Red Pilled Orange Pill Investor. And I don't really talk about technical analysis. I really don't have time for it. But I did question maybe whether this was potentially a double top, like if Bitcoin tried to go over 700 again and was rebuffed, which it looked like, oh, maybe that would happen. So there was this little dip here. But I think it's fairly clear that Bitcoin has eclipsed this 52-week high. And I'm sorry, this is MicroStrategy. MicroStrategy eclipsed this 52-week high. And no telling where this will go before it reaches resistance. And then it comes back down and finds support again, hopefully above the 700 mark, but never know. It could come down here and maybe bounce off the 500 again. Even though I'm pretty sure we're in the next Bitcoin bull market, there can be some serious pullbacks while it's pumping. And the same thing in the bear market, you can get some sharp declines and then some short-lived rallies as well. So for everybody who wants this just to be a straight line up for the next 2 years, sorry, that's not how Bitcoin works. And MicroStrategy is a leveraged Bitcoin play, so the moves could be even more extreme than Bitcoin, which is one of the reasons why I'm invested in it in addition to Bitcoin. I don't invest in any other, any crypto assets, just Bitcoin, Tesla, and mining stocks and MicroStrategy. Once again, I have severely limited my upside. So I got this 660 strike, and it is at 800, which means that's like 14 grand of upside that I will not be participating in. However, the up plan is the same as the down plan. So when the stock is down, I'll be buying more shares, and as the stock goes up, I will it'll be interesting to see what I can sell covered call for. I may have to be very aggressive and go something at the closer to at the money. Normally I try to give like 5% upside every week, which would be up to the 840 strike, so right about here. So paying out 14 and getting 3, that cost me 11. So that will be rough. So I would either have to go to something closer to at the money, so it's only going to give me an extra $500, or try to go out 45 days and see what I can get out there. Going up to about 0.36 delta. All right, so going up to maybe the 900 would give me 5 grand. So that might work. I may have to do something like that otherwise I might have to make a deposit, which I prefer not to do if at all possible. But some people don't think it be like it is, but it do. Been trying to talk a little bit more philosophy around Bitcoin. And I'm going back and listening to that Sailor series again. And it reminded me of, he started talking about the Holocaust and a lot of the Jews that would have loved to have picked up and gone somewhere safer were kind of disincentivized to do so because when you try to sell something in an emergency like that, you're going to get lowballed, and then as you're trying to flee, you're just going to, every port that you go and every border you cross, they're just going to take a little bit more, a tax here and a tax there. And I think he estimated that in order to just completely relocate somewhere, they were looking at losing, 90% of their savings, and it's kind of hard to start over. If it was just about, I don't want to lose, wealth or something, obviously you want to preserve your life. However, making yourself destitute and not knowing whether you'll be able to provide for your family it makes it difficult to leave, even when there may be warning signs. So it occurred to me that if Bitcoin existed was invented in 1925 and started to pick up as much steam as it has over, and before 1940, that maybe the Holocaust could have been avoided. And a lot of Bitcoiners will say Bitcoin fixes everything, but that's a little bit of an overstatement. It's more like Bitcoin stops ruining everything. So the way that fiat money is corrupted and taxed and printed by the central banks, and countries go to war over it. And when they print a bunch of money and screw up inflation, and then they cause recessions and depressions, and then you have to find a scapegoat, because it's not like governments can take responsibility for the disasters that they've caused in the economy. And then a particular minority group gets blamed for it, since these government parasites won't take responsibility for their own actions, of course. And so Bitcoin is uncorruptible, and maybe in 50 years or 100 years, something like genocide will no longer be possible. And that's my hope, and I hope to live long enough to see it. So on that note, happy Valentine's Day, and be good, y'all.